All right, everybody, good morning. My name is Aaron Utley, and I'm here from the 2016 Regional Championship at Games and Stuff in Glen Burnie, Maryland. We're looking at our first top 16 matchup of the day. We're looking at a rematch between yesterday's different match between in round 4 between Mike DiLernia from Glen Burnie here and Nick Belle from Glendale, Arizona. Mike is flying his K-Wing and tons of bombs list, and Nick is still flying Whisper Omega Leader and his Palpatine shuttle list. So we're just about ready to get underway with that. So get situated. I will continue to do the same. We'll check out the action here in just a minute. It looks like I'm going to need to figure out who Nick has designated as his Agent Callus target. So let me go do that real quick. Okay, so the Agent Callus is on that, the second Warden with Bombardier, not on the K-Wing with Sabine. So we've got that cleared up. I'm getting logged into chat now here. I'll be with you in a second. Only had an hour to set up this morning, so I haven't really had any time to spread the word. So if you can let people know that we're going to be online here today for all 4 rounds of the top 16 from the Maryland Regional, I'd appreciate it. Let everybody know we're here. Looks like there's 7 of you with us, so you are the fortunate few that get to watch from beginning to end this rematch of yesterday's, really the game of the day from yesterday, which was the round 4 match between Mike and Nick. They just happened to have run back into each other here in the first round of single elimination, so this should be pretty cool. It's just me today. Jeff Falker was unable to make it back, so probably won't be as interesting. You'll get a lot more of the, well, there's a, it's a 2 straight. That's a 2 bank. Nothing to be done about it, though, so I'll do the best I can. All right, and that's the start of the round. Initiative sort of a non-factor beyond placement of rocks here, since Mike's list is all 2s. And just like yesterday, Mike jumping out of the gate with an advanced slam. Try and close that distance and start dropping ordnance all over the place. If you take a look at his loadout there, he has a total of, let's see, 4 sets of cluster mines, 4 counter nets, and let me just make sure one thing real quick. And 2 detonators, so he's got, 6, 10 pieces of ordnance he can drop on the board here. Pretty crazy stuff. there's an advanced slam and a bump. Nick using that black and white token there to designate who he's who's selected as his Agent Callus target. And this is the first round of 4 today, first round of 4 of single elimination. So this would be our, I don't know, Sweet 16. This is the top 16 round. This is the round of 16. We'll have quarters next, semifinals, and then our final later on today. And this is a rematch from yesterday. K-Dub on in chat asked if it's a rematch. Guys from round 4 just happen to run back into each other, so it should be really interesting to see how Nick adjusts. I'm fairly certain he's not going to get his shuttle flown off the map. So a nice chance at redemption for Nick. And let's see what he does with it. And again, if you guys wouldn't mind spreading the link to the feed around on Facebook, FFG, and Reddit, I'd appreciate it. I don't have time to get that stuff up, so I'd appreciate it. Let everybody know I'm here. Guys are setting their dials. I have a feeling Omega Leader's not going to turn into the center there and get jammed up, but we'll see. Mike with his very cool laser cut and etched wooden tokens. Those are very slick. TDs. You can't pronounce that. Got a question from chat. What are TDs? TDs on the Warden there are thermal detonators. Thank you, K-Dub. All right, hang in there on your own, guys. I'm gonna get the word out for a minute, so I'm gonna have a second of quiet time. I'll be back in a sec. first piece of ordnance hits the table. A group of cluster mines. And we get a 3 bank from his bandit. And there's Captain Yor. Already having his maneuvers dictated by Mike's ordnance. Whisper turning in there. Wow. Is that a complete miss from Whisper? I can't see that die up top, but it sure looks like 5 blanks to me. That's awkward. He decides to go ahead and Palpatine 1 to a crit. And it's evaded. Wow. Now that is... That's a miss on Whisper's part. That's something. FCS gives the target lock. I mean, what can you do to that? That's just something. 5 dice, range 1, all blanks.
Just for the first week, just to get acclimated. And then when I get home, it's like, yeah, this odd, like, being able to use my addiction to games
And that was a hit and a crit for 3 shields. Where? I'm not sure who was attacked there. Assuming one of those K-Wings. I guess the non-calloused K-Wing, I think, just got engaged by Nick's shuttle. I'm going to have to check that here in just a minute, but that should have been the target. It's no big deal though. I can always run over and check damage here in a second. Yeah, it's just a little. Forgot to put the. right, let me do a quick damage check while the dials are up. Shut up, Duncan. Okay, it was the K-Wing. And I think one off the shuttle. I'm in. Yep, that was it. So, pardon me, guys. While it's trickier to keep track of by myself, it's easier to check the table once we're in a single elimination. A lot less going on. It's harder to navigate the room when there's a zillion people in here. It takes a little while for Nick to ponder these maneuvers, but really after yesterday, I mean, it's completely understandable. I mean, there's a lot going on here with all that ordnance, and the positioning options with Advanced Slam are really a lot to think through. So every maneuver critical. It's really not the same thing as flying a interceptor or something where you have a lot of repositioning options. When you're trying to guess where he might drop ordnance, you don't get to react to as much to where he actually ends up. So it's a tricky thing. It looks like everybody's made the decision. There's Whisper's going to decloak to the right. I think we're going to have a bunch of ordnance drop right on Captain York here in a sec. A little bit of a nudge. The Mike's Bandit. There's a two-turn to the right. The two-turn is a nice maneuver, but really it's not the maneuver the two-bank is. It's more turny. It's not as banky. It's a matter of personal preference, really, and fact. There's a thermal detonator. And a three bank. Well, I got a comment from in chat about soft cookies and hard cookies, and actually those, what are they, Sausalito, whatever, those crunchy Pepperidge Farm cookies. Every once in a while, I'll screw up and get the crunchy Pepperidge Farm cookies, and that just makes me purple with rage. So I think that's a good comparison. But crunchy cookies are more rage-inducing to me than two turns. Because, two turns are great. They're just not as good as two banks. They're not as banky anyway. advanced slam. And I think we're going to see a counter net drop here. And he drops the counter net right on Omega Leader. Well, he physically drops it on the ship, which is really not kind of a party foul there, but that's not great for Omega Leader. So he loses a shield right off the bat. And picks up Ion. And he's taken damage from Sabine, the Sabine effect. And as he's not revealed his style yet, that Ion got a stop from Yor, so he'll take stress. Shoot up that bandit at range 1. So Nick with a sloop on Omega Leader. So he'll stress. There's a 1 turn from Whisper. And a target lock. And that's like Whisper focuses. Checks for range. He does have the K-Wing at range 3. Target lock gives him a better result with 3 hits into the K-Wing. We should get a couple green dice here to try and evade some of that. Looks like he's going to Palpatine on a crit. And so 1 gets evaded, so 2 hits and a crit go through. All into shields. So Mike's Warden, with Sabine on board, is now shieldless. Checking range. It's going to be a range 2 shot into the second K-Wing. Looks like a hit an eyeball. Doesn't have a focus to use. And it's evaded. So good roll from Mike. Now we're going to get a range 1 shot. So 1 shield, thermal detonator goes off. Gives one. And that's going to come up. A 1 hit gets through and evaded. Let me update this damage. one shield there, and one to the bandit. Trying to figure out what they're discussing here. I think this should be the TLT attack on Omega Leader down at the bottom. He focuses for 3, and he completely blanks, so he takes 1. Oh, this is Whisper. So Whisper lost his shield. Thought we were shooting at the TIFO down there at the bottom. Alright, a little cleanup. Oh, okay. The looks like they'd forgotten for a second that that bottom warden had advanced slam to get where he was at. Forgot about that extra shield that came off your. Alright, looks like we picked up a bunch of you, so let me go ahead and run through what we're looking at again. We're in the top 16 round at the 2016 Regional Games and stuff in Glen Burnie, Maryland. We're looking at a rematch of yesterday's round 4 game between Mike DiLernia and Nick Belle. Mike is running his 2 warden and a bandit list with a ton of bombs that he drops all over the place. If you were paying attention yesterday, you would have seen Mike drop a Connor net on Nick's PALP'S shuttle and fly it right off the board. So this is a bit of an attempt at redemption for Nick, and an interesting rematch to see how he adjusts from a bit of a lopsided match yesterday. So if you're looking at as you're looking at things now, if you're just joining us, and a bunch of you are, the top K-Wing up there is the K-Wing with Sabine on board, with thermal detonators, counter nets, and cluster mines ×2. Already dropped 1 set of cluster mines and set of thermal detonators. The warden at the bottom is the Callus designated target, and does not have thermal detonators or Sabine crew. Crew on that one is Bombardier, letting letting him drop bombs out to using a 2 template instead of 1. Now, Omega Leader has just been was just counter netted prior to his maneuver, which was a sloop. So that ion effect will kick in right here.
Worst game ever played.
There's nothing I can do. He's going to too hard. If I go for the shot,
So there's Whisper's Decloak. Mike. Gonna go ahead and reveal the dial for his Warden first. Looks like a 3 bank. No, it's a 1 bank. Sorry, 3 bank. It looks like Mike is dropping another set of cluster mines down there to prevent, to wall off that corner of the board. So that leaves that K-Wing with 1 set of cluster mines and 1 Connernet remaining. The second Warden, it's a 2-turn. Mike deciding what to do with for an action with that second K-Wing. He is going to drop another set of cluster mines. Limiting Whisper's future options to pursue down that side of the map. And there's the noble 2 bank from the Bandit, who understands what a fantastic maneuver that is. Everybody loves a 2 bank. It's very banky. Not too long, not too short. And Captain Yorn. clips that one cluster mine. Let's see, he rolls up, removes one stress. He rolls up eyeballs, so no negative effect from that cluster mine. So, bit of good luck for Nick. Omega leader, drifting forward. Ion remains stressed, so no action. Removes the ion token. Whispers maneuver. Whispers revealed what appears to be a 3 straight. And there's a barrel roll from Whisper. Gonna try and get that K-Wing in arc. Looks like he may have it. Checking range, he does. So at the start of combat, they're gonna verify that he's got range 3 to that K-Wing. And he'll take a range 3 shot. Looks like a hit and 2 crits. Target lock reroll yields nothing, but he Palpatine's that for crits, so it looks like a hit and 3 crits on that K-Wing, who evades none of them. So this is going to be problematic. First crit looks like damage sensor array. So we got 2 damage sensor arrays, and can't read the other one, but 4 straight damage on that Warden, so pretty good turn of events there for Nick, leaving that K-Wing at 1 hull remaining, and he's going to try and finish him off here with Omega Leader. So Omega Leader, 1 hit, 2 dice from K-Wing, 1 evade. So I must have missed something. That does in the K-Wing. How did that happen? I still don't understand what just happened. Looked like 1 hit and 1 evade was rolled. Must not have been the case. But regardless, the 1 K-Wing is off the board. And there's our shuttle into the Z95. 1 hit, 1 evade. So that's evaded cleanly. Should have a range 1 target lock focus shot from Bandit into Omega Leader. We got a hit and a crit, and the target lock reroll gives us another hit. So 2 hits and a crit into Omega Leader from the Z95. We got 1 evade and a focus. So 2 evades. Does he take the crit here? Does. Let's structural damage. So Omega Leader gets away with that. Gets away from that without blowing up. And it's TLT shot. Oh, TLT shot gets through. And it looks like destroys Omega Leader. So only a brief reprieve after the range 1 shot from Bandit. And Omega Leader's off the board. Guys back to dials after a pretty important round of shooting there, which saw two key ships leave the table. Somebody points out in chat there's only a couple pieces of ordnance left on this K-Wing. That's correct. This K-Wing is down to one set of each. One set of cluster mines and one Connernet. Dials are just about down. Looks like Mike's Bandit might be able to slip through there. I'm not sure Nick's shuttle is going to want to pursue him down that direction. But we'll see. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense speculating when we'll see in a minute. I do think, in general, Mike has his work cut out for him. Losing that second K-Wing that way. 4 damage in the one turn is pretty tough to take. Five damage. Well, it took 5 in the went through all of us all 5 damage, so not 4. It looks like Nick possibly debating exactly what I was just talking about. Does he want to go ahead and pursue turning left to get onto these 2 ships and just go ahead and overfly that rock? But personally, that's what I would go ahead and do. I think if you can keep the shuttle's guns on these ships for a turn or 2 and then bring in Whisper and clean up, you'll be fine. But virtual certainty that all the players in this room would smoke me. So what I think probably doesn't have a whole lot of bearing on what's about to go on. We'll see.
It's not stopping. It's not stopping. It's gonna get worse.
And there's a two-turn and an advanced slam to get that K-wing completely turned around and a focus action. Looks like we got a K-turn from our bandit. And what's he up to do? So there's the one bank, so he'll clear stress. And he'll, looks like he's got range 1 on that bandit again. Soon we'll see a focus here in a sec. It's target lock. And there's one turn from Whisper. It's going to be out of range. Whisper's not going to be engaging on this turn. Clearly well out of range, so no big deal. Whisper seems to have plenty of space to jump in here and do some damage on that K-Wing. But the K-Wing doesn't need to slam, so the K-Wing will be shooting back at least on this next turn. So it looks like two hits and a crit. Palpatine's that up for damage on the K-Wing. K-Wing rolls an eyeball, so it takes a hit and a crit. Let's see what the crit is. Yeah, it looks to be shaken pilot. Single damage, 2 more. K-Wing's down to 3 hull now. So 6 points of total damage remaining on those 2 rebel ships. One set of clusters and 1 Connernet remaining on the K-Wing. But really, a bit of an uphill slog here. Be very difficult for him to, Whisper's going to come down this turn and be able to really put a lot of damage on that K-Wing. There's the range 1 shot from our bandit. Didn't see what that roll was. Loses another shield. So it must have been an evade. So the Imperial's in pretty good shape. I do think he's going to, I think a 3 bank and a cluster mine drop is probably a good option here. I think we're likely to maybe see a stop maneuver here. We'll see. 2 turns going to have him on that rock. And if Mike drops cluster mines, 2 turn will run him over all of them. So I don't know. We'll just see. Enough guessing. Like I said, just wait a minute. We'll know. I think problem here for Mike is more or less, regardless of what he does, he can't kill Whisper in a single turn of shooting. TLT not putting out crits unless he somehow gets a range 1 primary. Hey, gentlemen. So I think Whisper's got him. But we will see. So a bit of a turnaround. From yesterday, it seems, as and there's a 2 straight. Gonna go ahead and fix that shuttle in place if he can. So let's see what Mike's got planned. There's a 2 bank from the K-Wing. 2 turn from the K-Wing. Okay, so he's going to drop. He's not. He's going to slam again. So I guess we'll just see what Whisper's done here. He's going to drop again. And 25 minutes left in the round, so it's Mike's final set of cluster mines going down there. And the shuttle has stopped. Take stress. Still not doing anything. Let's see what Whisper's got. Dialed up. Not really sure what they're discussing. There's a 2 straight from Whisper. And Whisper will put a range 3 shot with Palpatine onto an actionless bandit. So a good roll here will kill this bandit. And a barrel roll. Oh, no, wants to try and get arc on the K-Wing. I'm not sure if he's managed it, but let's see. But regardless, he's going to be able to cloak because he does have something. So he's going to be able to decloak to the right and get a... So he's checking range. He does have arc on the K-Wing. Looks like range 2. Still with, what did he got? Looks like he rolls up 3 hits. He's going to Palpatine the 4th for a crit. 1 evade, but that puts 3 hull on the K-Wing, which destroys it. That's more or less the ball game. So, it's not technically over just yet, but more or less. We'll see a decloak back to the right and a conservative maneuver to try and keep that bandit out in front of him this next turn and kill him. So this should be over very quickly at this point. He does get a shot back at range 3. They're certainly touching.
Well, like, he makes a movement since April, touched. And, I guess, like, they can attack each other.
Oh. Right, I didn't see what... So I guess the conversation is whether or not those ships are touching, and they certainly are. The bandit flew. That's not my call. I'm not a judge here today, but absolutely they're touching. The bandit flew into the shuttle, and the shuttle flew a stop maneuver. Shuttle didn't move, but the bandit was already touching the shuttle. So yeah, absolutely they're in contact. So that was the conversation. But I hope he doesn't take my word for it. That's a judge's call, and I'm not a judge here today. And there's the decloak back that we expected to see. Four straight. I'm going to go ahead and mark that shuttle. And to focus. I think if we see a 2 straight from Whisper, it's all over. And there's a 1 bank, putting that shuttle on a rock, roll up for damage. And he does take damage. So loses another shield. And there's the 2 straight. Should just catch him in arc, and he does. Let's focus that thing. I popped the asteroid, okay. Thank you. A little surprised he did that. I would not have done that. But, again, that's why I'm watching, not playing, I guess. It seems like you save that to try and guarantee a kill on the bandit here.
Yeah, 102. Well, for juggler, I think.
And I guess they don't have arc on each other, so he goes ahead and cloaks. Bell's going down.
That's good.
It's getting quite loud in here. There's a few things going on. It's pretty crowded. Waiting to see what Nick wants to do with his Phantom. He's going to decloak back to the right. Mike's Bandit. Is a 3-bank to the right. Two turn from the shuttle. It's going to give him guns back on. Bandit. And one turn from Whisper. See if that gives a mark. Looks like I missed Nick pulling a shield off Whisper for that Bandit attack where he rolled all those eyeballs. So Whisper's down to 2 hull. Thank you, guys. And it looks like he does have him in arc. He focuses. Range 3. I guess we're fresh out of lasers. Whisper takes his range 3 shot. It's not great. So it's 2 hits and a crit. 3 evades. So Bandit squeaks out of that one. They get his target lock. Looks like I got a range 2 shot from Captain Yor. And that looks like 1 crit. 1 evade. So no damage on the Bandit. can't see how those nubs line up, but it looks like if Nick runs fast, he'll clip 2 of these cluster mines, which is not great. So curious to see how he addresses getting over those. He's going to have to overfly them here soon. But I think he'll delay that if he can and try and just let Whisper do work. Because he can certainly fit in there with a 1 straight. Alright, what's our... That's a 3 turn. So, wow, okay. So the bandit clips a cluster mine. No damage. And a 1 straight will give both of these guys a range 1 shot at each other. Stop short of the cluster mines. And the opts for a target lock. Whisper's maneuver looks like a 2 straight. So I'm assuming a barrel roll to the left here. And no. Okay, so he'll fire and decloak that direction. So another range 3 shot from Whisper. This one focused in target lock though. So this could again be curtains. We'll just have to see how it turns out. So Whisper's range 3 attack coming up. You gotta assume, you gotta think that that bandit's green dice are gonna run out of luck here in a minute. Okay, so it's target lock, reroll, and a focus. So we got 2 hits and 2 crits going into. And that's it. That's game. So that cleans him off. And game is over. So Nick making the adjustment after the game yesterday and pulling it out in our top 16 round here. Another great game. But Nick just able to put a lot more damage on those K-Wings early and really not suffer nearly as nasty effects from the ordnance. Obviously didn't get his shuttle flown off the board. So nice redemption for Nick there. Nice to see Mike's interesting K-Wing list back on the table. And another great match from the 2016 regionals here at Games and Stuff. So you guys hang in there with me. We got 10 minutes left to go until time. So, you know, these are quick turnovers. So I'm thinking 15-20 minutes and we'll be back online. So I will see you guys here shortly from the 2016 regional at Games and Stuff in Glen Burnie. I'm Aaron Utley, and thanks for logging in. Give me a few minutes.